Break My Fall was just released in the UK. How long have you been working on the film for?
3 weeks rehearsal and 3 weeks shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how did you get cast for the film?
I was found on the internet. One of the producers was like trawling the internet for girls of my look, and he found me and sent me an email. I then get like really late at night. I was a bit like, what?
Oh really? You're suspicious?
Not really. I like because they wrote a very detailed synopsis of the story, and I like that kind of gritty British, so kind of won me over straight away.
I was at a yard sale, and the director was watching me, and I was like, "Why is this woman watching me?" And then she came up to me and said, "Are you an actor?" And I said, "Yes." And then she was like, "Will you audition for my film?" And I did. And then we had several castings with different actors, and then it was only at the end of the process that we were put together.
Yeah,
and she chose us. I think she wanted to.
She wasn't casting the individual. She was casting the relation, the energy between a couple.
Okay.
So that's why she kept like auditioning different people together to try and find, I don't know, that spark, I suppose.
Yeah. And so we had this funny little kind of audition in the Rio basement, and we just met, and Kanchi put on like a TV on the radio song and made us dance together.
Slow dance.
Kind of, yeah.
As if we'd
been
together for
move
years.
across the room towards each other.
And did you just instantly gel?
Yeah. We had a lot of friction actually, but it was good. Initially, like when we did that, I think it was we were kind of like scoping each other out, but it kind of worked.
Yeah, I mean, like actors they have to kind of just click it on for the audition once it starts, and luckily me and Kat found an energy together, and that's good, like, because sometimes you don't with certain actors. It's nothing to do with the individual, it's just sometimes not there. Like,
I think we were both pretty up for it, we were both quite, I think, confident about sort of just jumping into a situation where we just met, and we had to be quite intimate very quickly, and I think we just found it easy, really.
What drew you to the script?
For me, it was the rawness of it, the gritty, like I'm a massive fan of British cinema.
And you really like British realism, don't you?
Yeah, realism and naturalism and stuff, and you could tell like instantly that that's the kind of film it would turn out to be. And it wasn't just the script, but it was Kanchi's passion about it. Like, there was no question ever about how much this film was her baby. She knew exactly what she wanted. She knew exactly how she wanted things to be delivered, and that's amazing. Like, you literally have it offered on a plate to you.
I think it's really hard when you read a script, like, especially when you haven't done much film before, because it really depends on how it's shot, and so it's very hard to tell just from the first sort of draft of a script how the film's going to look later on. So I think for both of us it was much more that it was really kind of Kanchi. Yeah, it was the way that she talked about what she wanted to do, and why she wanted to do it, and how she wanted to make it, that was really exciting. And I think, like, I was thinking about this the other day, that I think it's very brave to make a film in the way that she made it with such a low budget, and it was quite ambitious as well. And I think that a lot of films get made, they're written by a script writer and then passed on to another director and then passed on to a producer later on down the line, and then made, and then it's all in post-production, and those transitions are quite separate. But Kanchi was kind of there the whole way through, so she had this amazing sort of like passion and drive and belief in what she was trying to make. And also I think she was very uncompromising about doing it the way that she wanted to do it, and sort of, like, even though I think sometimes, like, things were really hard, we were under massive time constraints and money constraints, and she was just kind of had this incredible, like, dogged determination, and that was very alluring, I think, and that's what made it really exciting at the beginning.
What statement do you think the film makes?
We're just the actors. We have no idea.
How do you feel when you watch it back? Do you feel that it kind of makes an honest statement about the way that kind of youth culture is today?
I think it's one of those films that at no point did Kanchi want it to be a comfortable film to watch. She wants it to be raw, and she wants the audience to feel uncomfortable at times, and she wants people to be able to relate to it, because everybody does go through that stage in a relationship where they should have broke up probably a month before, but they can't quite imagine themselves not being together. And I always say that it very much has this kind of feeling of a camera being put through a window of a flat. It doesn't matter, it wouldn't, like the actual relationship status wouldn't matter if it was in East London, North London, Liverpool, do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. And I think that's what I love about it, is the truthfulness about it.
Well, I think I agree with you, but I think, like, for me, it's very much about a relationship when you're young, you know, and it's about a time when everything feels so dramatic and the end of the world, and you're not yet able to articulate yourself properly, and you haven't had the experience within relationships to know what you really want and what you don't want and what you won't take. And for me, I think what I think it did achieve very much is that kind of like lost spiral into kind of like hell that you can go through when you're that age and in a, you know, in quite a difficult relationship. And so I mean, I think it achieved quite a lot of the things that she wanted it to achieve. I mean, I think it's amazing for a film with a budget of £50,000, which is not even a micro budget, you know, to have a Leicester Square screening and the exposure that it has got. So I think that's brilliant. And I think at the beginning we had no idea where it was going to go. You know, you often go.
Literally had no idea. Like we weren't being paid anything. Nobody was being paid anything. Some of the locations weren't booked at the time.
No, some of it was just guerrilla filming. You know, like, and we were. I mean, obviously you can't tell this when you're watching it, but you know, we were being told to go away, or you know, like that we've got 5 minutes in this location. We've just got to get it done.
Yeah.
So it was super condensed. You know, like I think that we just had no time to kind of, like, I don't know, to sort of reshoot, or even, you know, it was hard to sometimes rehearse before a scene on set because there were loads of people there. So it was like, it was a really interesting filming process. I mean, the first shoot we did was at a live squat rave, you know, and
where was
we
that?
were like down in King's Cross.
Yeah, it was on the way to King's Cross.
We were like stuck in a room with like no lighting, like kids outside on ketamine, like we were just like, what? Right by the toilets, like, and there was like red paint everywhere. So the first day we got all paint down our costumes, which we were going to have to use because obviously that's one of the last scenes, and we needed those costumes for the next scenes we were going to film, which are at the beginning of the film. So we were like, oh no.
Or you'd have someone like bopping you on the head while you were filming.
Yeah, or like people just looking into the camera like, what? Because they're like, like on ketamine or whatever.
You're just like, act, just
but
keep
I think that all goes back to the thing that kept us going, no matter what like we went through, was Kanchi and her passion and she knew what she wanted, she knew where she needed to get from A to Z, and if she didn't have that, and we weren't so like convinced of that, we would have been like, what? Do you know what I mean? Going to illegal squats and going to a flat that was literally no electric, no water, no. Do you know what I mean? And it was down to Kanchi that saw us through. All of us through that. She held it all together.
Yeah, and
literally this like one woman held everything together.
Yeah, but we also had a very good crew as well.
Oh yeah, massively.
Really, you know, like the
professional
DOP and all the gaffer guy, like they were amazing, and they were just like, you know, like I think we thought it was hard, but they were holding cameras and booms and lights, you know.
How big was the crew altogether then, in its entirety?
I think there was 8.
No, maybe 10 at times. It kind of varied. Like sometimes we had a larger crew for like different shoots, I think. But yeah, it was roughly like 8 to 10 or 11.
How much did you identify with your characters?
Like how much are they like us?
Yeah.
Well, my character, like the 3, like I consider like 3 main traits, like obviously I don't relate at all because I don't drink, I don't do drugs, and I'm straight. So they were like the 3 main things that she does a lot in the film that I don't do. Like, So, and also I didn't know East London at all. Like, I'd been to theatre school, I think I'd been at theatre school a month, I'd done one short film, and then I was thrown into a feature, and also East London, like, getting to know it, like, because it was very important to me that everything I did in the film looked realistic. Like, when I was on the drugs, I looked like you would if you were on the drugs, and when I was drunk, I actually genuinely looked drunk and stuff like that. And then the biggest...
And were you at any points, or is
no,
it like done for that?
no, because I never drink or do drugs, so...
No, you weren't.
No. And also, you know, building a relationship with Kat that not only had to be like we'd been in love at one point, but that we were breaking down, like, you know, falling apart. And that's different, you know, it's a difficult thing to do, and it was emotionally tiring, the filming. Afterwards, I think we needed about a month off, like, just to recuperate, because we went through the mill and back. Because we were with each other basically 24 hours a day, like, every day for 3 weeks.
Yeah, and more before that.
Yeah, and more before that. So, you know, it takes it out of you.
Yeah.
How about you? How much did you identify with?
Not so much, actually. Like, I think it's hard to tell because, you know, my character is at a time in her life when everything doesn't feel very good, you know, and I feel that she was quite lost and depressed and angry as well. I mean, there were little things maybe. It reminded me more of just like very early teenage relationships, you know, like, rather than specifically me, you know. It reminded me of a lot of relationships